Margaret Kuhlman here of Soul Astrology. The Virgo new moon chart we're looking at for the 29th of August has a quite different flavour from the months we've just been through, where there has been a feeling of winding up the watch spring and huge tension. In this chart we see a grand trine, a big triangle of blue, where the new moon itself is in really harmonious relationship, that is a good understanding, with Pluto, the changes that are due to be made, and Jupiter about growth and expansion. But whereas this growth and expansion has been a pressure where we felt we needed to achieve, even though we didn't know quite what we were doing, from the end of August, Jupiter will be retrograding, appearing to go backwards through Taurus, and whenever it withdraws like that, across degrees it's already covered, there is a sense of things slowing down a bit. So growth doesn't have to happen right now. There's time to reorganize. In fact, it's necessary, usually, to have another look, and very beneficial, to check, to see that we are actually going in a useful direction, and maybe wait for a while. Jupiter will go right back to the beginning of Taurus, and on the 25th of December this year, it will start to go forwards again through Taurus, and then run through Taurus quite fast. So it's from late December that we may find that forward movement beginning to grow again, our sense of possibilities of achievement reasserting itself. The fact of this new moon being harmonious with Jupiter and Pluto shows as though the Virgo moment is a kind of rest where we let all the breath out and take a new breath in more slowly, with much more awareness of the outside. And also the new moon is very close to Venus. The moon will go over Venus within a few hours of the new moon itself, and this is bringing in an awareness of the other people, an awareness of our surroundings. So this gentle breath in connects us to what's going on around us in that way where we feel part of it, where we feel we can connect with it, rather than just watching it happen and feeling powerless, or trying to make changes happen in the way that we would like to see them by flapping our energy around. Virgo is concerned about the outside. It's concerned that what it's part of and what's going on should actually work well. Best of Virgo is aiming for the win-win situation where everybody is served, because this would be nature's way, when the best that is human works with nature. So it seems to me that this month of September will be a gentle, slower breathing process, where we let go of the tensions that have been there, relax a little, surrender to what's going on as fact, recognizing that we will need to adapt and change, but we don't know yet how that will be, and maybe in that relaxed state we'll be better able to see. Mercury is still in Leo and making no connections to anything. So perhaps in these first days, until it reaches Virgo again, we will be just enjoying ourselves or endeavouring to. Last month, Mercury was retrograding. On the 26th of August, it started to go forwards again. So when it goes forwards again into Virgo, round about the 9th of September, will be the time we start to apply our ideas and communication to what actually does need doing. Interesting that it's at the beginning of the academic year. So perhaps many things in this next academic year, perhaps this is about teaching and schools and colleges, universities, about our understanding, our greater understanding of things and our sharing of information and experience. that this next year will be based on, okay, now let's accept that all these things have been going on, these disasters, natural disasters and rioting and crazy one-man actions and destruction and so on. We just accept that there is that energy around. It's not going to disappear, but while we have this breathing space, we can readjust our position, being ready for whatever comes next. So we have this grand trine, we have Jupiter about to retrograde and giving us a bit of breathing space. We have Mercury going direct again, and the square between Uranus and Pluto, which is being blamed for a lot of the extraordinary things that are going on, begins to separate out a bit. So the tension, that watch spring that's been wound up, begins to release a little. The new moon itself is opposite to Chiron, not very far from opposite to Neptune as well. And Chiron in Pisces. Neptune's back into Aquarius again just for a little while before she goes into Pisces again in 2012. But being opposite to the new moon, it's as though there's a focus of feeling towards the spiritual healing aspect of this whole planetary arrangement, as though with the acceptance of the great changes and the facts of what's going on that we are completely out of control of, we actually do turn again to look at the inner inspiration, asking for a new perspective, a different way. One way I like to see Chiron, the symbol is like a key. I like to see it as the key to a lock. The lock being like an airlock or a lock on a canal, where you go when where you are now, the way that you are, is not suitable for where you want to be and for the next step, as it were. So you go into the lock and there you change. You just relax and change happens. You don't do it to yourself. Chiron is the wounded healer. He couldn't heal himself. He heals others. So to go into the lock is where the healing happens, and there is this space of time where the healing can happen if we just surrender to what is and allow the forward movement to gently take us. When the time is ready and the change within us is made sufficient, we will be at the right level or the right pressure to open the gates to the new step. There's another aspect which has just finished, which in this last couple of weeks would have been really difficult, I think, for many people. For all of us perhaps, on the emotional level, especially around family feelings. Not necessarily your birth family, but things that happened when you were a child. So all sorts of child reactions could have been rising with Mars being in Cancer and squaring Saturn. But it has actually finished the square, and again that's another of the things that eases away during these first days in September. It doesn't connect to the rest of the chart, so it feels as though, again, we can, as we relax and breathe, we can let that fall away. But not fall away to be forgotten. It falls away, the reactions, the emotional reactions when we've seen them. If we surrender to the fact that that was our childhood, and it does inform the present, we can be more at peace with the way we feel as we go along. And it doesn't have to be triggered so strongly and so often. It's taking care of the child within, because no one can reach the child of our past, no one except ourselves. And the square between Mars and Saturn has possibly been about realizing, hopefully, that we mustn't blame somebody else for our feelings, because were another person to be in our place, their reactions would have been different. So the feelings don't come from outside, they come from inside only. The contemplation follows. Take a breath and let it all out, pushing out the last wisps of old air with all the cobwebs from your past. Only when your body really feels ready, breathe in slowly savouring the movement of muscles and ribs, registering the anchor that your body is for the flow of spiritual life in this earth plane. Let your breathing become even and steady. All is spirit love at one level or another. Each life is a thread in the great weaving and has its own place and timing, and there is no need for you to concern yourself with that movement. Hold up your trust as a light and focus your attention on what comes to your hand to do, one thing at a time to the best of your ability now, never measuring or comparing, nor checking back later to judge. Do what needs doing as it arises, clearing what is no longer needed as soon as it's done, so that your mind becomes decluttered of worry. Gradually your thoughts become transparent, and the pattern begins to show through. All is well.